of the head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee Company, the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys. I was so proud of Coach when I heard him say he was a red zone guy last week. And Choppy's like, oh, I need the one game to get the feel. Called me a highlight reel fan, but I think Coach is aboard that red zone train. Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Hey, happy Friday, guys. And listen, I'm a football junkie, man. So you turn red zone on. I got multiple TVs going, and I can't get enough.
Absolutely. I love it.
All right, Shotty. So last week was your first game as head coach, which obviously, that was a special moment for you. You talked about the time you were going to take probably before kickoff to kind of reflect. Is there anything different about it being your first game at home as a head coach this week?
No, I don't think so. I think obviously, you take in the moment every game of how blessed you are to be just in this business, man. And to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys is obviously a tremendous honor. But I'm just excited to be with the home fans, man. And again, I expect it to be an electric environment. It's a noon kickoff, which we don't get many of those. But really, honestly, just excited to be back home. I really do believe that, winning games at home is critical. And I do believe that the fans, which we have incredible fans, they play a big role in that, especially, in division games.
Yeah, growing up, I remember Arrowhead with your dad being like one of those first home fields where I'm like, oh my God, this makes a difference. And then you were in Seattle, which I think modern day is probably the best home field, with what they got going on. And then the Cowboys just destroyed everyone a couple years ago, scoring 30, blowing everyone out, undefeated at home. So what message, if any, Coach, would you like the Cowboy fans listening right now who are going to go Sunday or throughout the season to bring to Arlington?
Literally, it's you mentioned it, a couple of years ago we were kicking everybody's ass in AT&T, and again, you're right. I was part of the family. My dad was head coach in Kansas City, and what you may or may not remember is his very first game as a head coach. It would have been 1988 or 87. I guess 88 it was, or 89. There was like 28,000 people there. That was it. Ooh. That was it. And they started winning games, and next thing you know, that place is going in crazy, and it just became a really incredible spot. And again, I can't wait to see all the fans out there in their jerseys having fun. And again, you know me, man, I love my music, and again, hopefully we got the music cranking, and just good vibes for all Cowboys fans. And they do make a difference. Not just the players feel it, man. It's real. The players feel it, not just when we're on defense, but when we celebrate, we're doing great things, man. We want to hear from the fans, and that's all part of the passion of the game.
What was in the headphones before the first game ever as head coach, or does it change up, or is it usually the same musician?
Playlist, man. I think I listen to different types of things, and I get a little Christian music going. Then I get a little bit of R&B. I really am like a radio guy, man. I go Spotify, but I think just growing up in a locker room, man, I listen to all types of music, because really, when you think about a huddle, there's so many different personalities and things like that in a huddle. That's kind of what you're used to. But the cool thing for me is usually I can't hear myself think in a good way, because the music in the locker room is so loud from our players.
Brian Schottenheimer joining us here, 105 to the Fan. All right, so first game, first impressions in terms of running the game, clock management, the game presentation as a whole, using your timeouts. Was that easier, more difficult, more how much stress? Give me a range of emotions.
No, again, it's certainly a situation that I think the more you do it, the more comfortable you get it. It's like anything. There's confidence through repetition. The preseason definitely helps. I thought we did manage some things really, really well. I loved our ability to go down at the end of the first half and get some points. We had a nice situation where he threw a completion to CeeDee. We were able to get up there and spike it, and Aubrey went out and kicked a bomb like he normally does. Things like that I think are really good. But, again, like I told you guys, man, I'm supported by so many great people, but one of which, Ryan Feeder, he and I actually, just before I jumped on the call, we're doing some he does a kind of a walk around the league from week one, and then next week there'll be a walk around the league week two. Just all the different things that come up, man, just with replay assist and, overturning calls and down by contact and things like that. So, supported by great people makes it easy for you to go into a situation and be pretty damn confident.
When you went back and rewatched the game, did you have a moment where you're like, ooh, I would have done this, or I would have called the timeout here instead, or do you just move on, don't worry about it?
No, man. You always AAR, man. We AAR everything, after action report. And again, I don't. There's nothing that jumps out at me in that game. It was a pretty clean game. I thought they let us play, which is great. That's what they should do. But I think overall, man, I really was really just pleased with how physical we played. And then on the road, first game of the year, I thought our discipline was really good. And again, that's a testament to our players. But hell, anybody can do it once, man. We got to go out there and do it again this week. And again, I think playing with that type of discipline gives you a chance to win each and every week.
Brian Schottenheimer joining us here on 105.3 The Fan. Shotty, what was your experience with Russell Wilson like? And do you think you learned or came to believe anything while working with Russ that you're practicing today with Dak?
You know what, man, that's a great question. I think, number one, I think, Russ and I had some incredible success together. That was the let Russ cook era of the Seattle Seahawks and all that. And the thing that I love about Russ, man, was this guy, he literally is probably one of the greatest deep ball throwers of all time.
Yeah.
His ability just to control the trajectory of the ball and all that. But again, I mean, this guy, when you watched him play, his ability to really just attack people, with his arm, but also with his ability to improvise, man. I mean, he was so good off the spot. And, last week we weren't very good at containing Jalen Hurts, and he kind of hurt us, and we're going to have to really be on it. But in terms of what we do, man, I think, each quarterback is different. And you kind of adjust to your personality, you adjust to the talent, and so I would say there's core beliefs that we do with Dak that we use with Russ, but for the most part, each quarterback is a little different. Even Dak and Joe and Will Grier, you all teach those guys a little bit different with some of the things and nuances on the field.
Coach, I wanted to ask you just a philosophical question on quarterbacks because obviously every year there's a bunch of new rookie quarterbacks come in the league. Some start right away, some don't. Philosophically, are you a throw them into the fire kind of guy, or are you more of a let them, kind of sit there and soak it all in?
I think it's a good question. I think I'm going to answer it with a little bit of not a pause. I think it depends on the construction of your quarterback room. If it's even close, you play the young guy. Like if you got a veteran and a young guy and they're competing and it's even close, I would go with the young guy. Why? You got to get him out there. He's the best way to learn how to play quarterback in this league is to play and to make mistakes and things like that. But if you have a quarterback that is clearly better, at least with a little bit of separation, that's a veteran, then I think there is a ton of benefit from watching. But I think anymore the pressure of playing the high draft picks is real. I get that. But I do think, man, there's a lot of value to be had from watching. And like I go back and I wasn't there, but in San Diego before we got out there, they drafted Breeze, first overall pick in the second round. They had Doug Flutie. Doug started the whole year for the Chargers, and then Drew played one game because Doug was nicked up. And then the next year it was close. This is when we got out there. It was really close. But we ended up going with Drew, and it was just because when it was that closely, the competition was that close, you're like, hey, you got to play the young guy. And Drew felt much more prepared year two than he did his rookie year. We had to go play that one game I think he played against the Chiefs.
Shotty, you'll be missing Deron Bland this weekend. How does that change the makeup of the secondary for you guys?
Again, the thing about Deron that he's such a great weapon is his ability to play the corner position, but also at the nickel position. The one thing I'll say about Matt Eberflus, I think one of the things I loved about him, guys, when I was, going through the interview process, talking to people about him, is his ability to adjust and move things. I think we saw that with Matt and his staff last week, second half against Philadelphia. But Deron's a great player. I know he's itching to get back, and it limits your ability to, move some things around. And, what we'll do is we'll have some safeties playing in the nickel spot. We'll do some things like that. But, again, Deron's a great player. Hopefully we get him back sooner rather than later. But, again, the biggest thing is just Deron's such a cool piece because he's versatile and ability to play in the slot, but also move back outside. And there's not many guys like that in the NFL.
Brian Schottenheimer here on Sean and RJ every Friday at this time, 105.3 The Fan, your home of America's team. Coach, obviously CeeDee was a big storyline. None of us have not even a 1% worry about him bouncing back. But when you get a player who finishes a game like that, and I'm not trying to ask you to give away the game plan, but just in general, do you kind of put an extra onus on getting him as early of a touch as possible to erase anything that could be there from the previous week?
No, I get the question. You guys have to ask the question, but no, the ball goes to CeeDee a lot early in games always, and this doesn't change anything, man. Like, I know it got a little bit of notice, but like, here's a guy that on Friday, you guys know the story. I'm gonna say it again because it's worth. The guys are off. We got back at 5:30, tough game. You don't pull it out, season opener, and most guys are still laying in bed or just chilling at the house, and he's out here, catching jugs. And then Sunday, most people don't know this, Sunday, one of our coaches in here about 9:30 in the morning, the guy's on the field running routes by himself. Like, if that tells you anything about CeeDee Lamb, is just how hungry. And what I loved about him is, like, this is going to motivate him more than anything. Not that he needs motivation, but like, he kind of told me, say, hey, all that did, bro, is wake up a monster. So, the fans should be looking for the ball to get to CeeDee early in every game.
Schotty, with the Giants obviously having invested a lot in their front four over the years and all the guys that they have that can get to the passer, do you end up stressing anything different with an opponent like this about pre-snap recognition or offensive line communication?
No, I think, they lost the linebacker last week, McFadden, who I think is a hell of a player, number 41. I think so. We're aware of some potential, changes in terms of personnel groupings. Are they going to play more 5-down stuff with Abdul Carter, Burns, and Thibodeau? That certainly makes sense. That would not surprise us at all. But no, I mean, hey, look, we want to play the game physical. This is a very, very, very good front seven. I always start inside with Dexter Lawrence. I mean, just what a damn good football player. And again, two techniques don't get, a lot of recognition for their ability to frickin' rush the passer, man. But this guy, man, they create one-on-ones and he just walks people back. And there's limited things that you can do in that situation. And I'm a huge Brian Burns fan. I mean, you look at the athlete this guy is, and Thibodeau, his play style is awesome. And then, of course, they go out and like we've watched the last couple of years in this division, there's always going to be an emphasis on defensive linemen. That's why the Eagles drafted Jalen Carter. That's why, these guys went and take Abdul Carter. But I would say it starts with our ability to run the football. Like, hey, you guys are great pass rushers. We respect that. We understand that. But, hey, let's see you guys stop the run, and that's going to be a big part of this game plan.
Schotty, you mentioned there how you guys want to be physical on offense, and that's something you've underlined a great deal. And I think most people hear physicality and they naturally think, all right, that's the run game. But how do you maintain a physical identity when you're passing the football?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I'm going to start with this. Obviously, there's chip protections and things that we'll have to do this week to just help secure the edges and stuff like that. That's being physical. You talk about backs stepping up and picking up blitzing linebackers or safeties. That's physical. Let's go to the perimeter. When I'm a receiver and I'm running a route versus press man-to-man, there's a physical element to that. Where I got to get up to the top of the route where I'm going to break, and I've got to be able to create separation, not cheat and push off, guys. We're not all about that. But you use your flipper and you bet arm pressure the guy and you create separation. And then of course you're quarterback, you're Dak Prescott, and you've got a free runner coming at you, and you got the 20-yard in route back in behind it, and you got to stand in there knowing you're going to take a shot. That's being physical. So you play physical with and without the ball, and it's way more than just the run game.
Choppy, I don't like this early good question scoreboard that we have running here. I think Bobby has blanked us 2 or 3.
Hell yeah.
We're going to have to...
He's my favorite. Guys, he's my favorite. Let's get that out of the way right now.
Coach!
Hang on a second.
I brought you a lemon. RJ gave you some golf gear. Oh, it's because he brought the...
The whole handle, guys. The whole handle.
Yeah. You guys probably can't say that, but there's a reason he's my favorite. But hey, we're going to do our own show next week. It's just going to be me and Bobby.
There we go. Man. All right, get out of here. Go.
I'm glad Florida lost last week.
Go study some tape. Get out of here. Thank you.
Hey, that's over the top, man. Come on.
Coach, thank you so much. Awesome stuff, and good luck Sunday.
Appreciate it.
There he is, head coach Brian Schottenheimer, brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee Company, the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys. You snake.
What a difference a year makes, boys.
You went from...
I went for the favorite, now
penthouse,
dog.
penthouse to outhouse.
We were kindred spirits.